Just a few months ago, we covered the flood Mclaren P1, which made for some of the most shocking hypercar content we got to see in 2022, with some truly iconic pictures of the car swimming through Florida. But just a few months later, another Florida man has bought this McLaren. You're watching Auto Anorak, and let's find out how and why Tavarish has bought a flooded Mclaren P1. So yes, Tavarish has recently posted on his Instagram that he has won the Mclaren P1 auction. This isn't confirmed, but from the comments and the video itself, it's too suggestive for him to not have bought this car. This ultimately comes as a surprise to me because some of you may not have heard that this car was already for sale, and I believe bids went all the way up to as high as $800,000. Tavarish has talked about this on the Smoking Tire podcast, which I'll leave a link to in the description below, but essentially what happened is that the original bidder then had to negotiate this price with the insurance, and they likely asked him for a much larger sum of money in order to secure the car. So this deal fell through, and it appears that a number of weeks later Tavarish has bought a Mclaren P1. Funnily enough, Freddie is probably one of the few people on the planet that can say he's rebuilt a McLaren that's in worse condition than this car, which does mean that if there are any YouTubers that can do the job, it's him. So, what are his plans and why has he bought this car? Well, the first thing to understand is that it's likely that the McLaren P1 he's bought is a complete write-off, even in Florida because of the carbon tub or the chassis, which is likely to have had significant structural issues, and so Freddie will have to buy a donor car, in this case like a used McLaren 650S. This would work perfectly as the chassis are practically the same and the 3.8 litre twin-turbo V8 is very similar. You would really just need to tune the car up. However, Freddie has talked about even putting the 4-litre V8 from the 720S into this and turning it into essentially what the guys at the Real Lanzante do, which is a McLaren P1 LM, a much higher horsepower, kind of like 1,000 horsepower McLaren P1. The only issue then still in terms of the drivetrain is the electric power unit, which even in perfect condition McLarens has been known to disintegrate. Now, you can get a brand new upgraded unit from the McLaren Speedtail, which is lighter and has even more power, but it has one quite big issue. It's about $200,000, so probably as much as a donor 650S. This means he could end up making the first non-hybrid P1 to save costs, which could actually be spectacular given the weight that is saved from that. That is just the drivetrain though. Goodness knows how much all of the carbon panels, mirrors, and pieces of glass that got damaged in this car are going to cost. Fingers crossed it's actually possible for him to afford this project, but apparently he has been jumping through all sorts of finance hoops to afford this car, and let's hope that it was under $800,000 and he gets a cheap P1. But judging by his last McLaren project, that won't be happening. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you're excited to see Tavarish's new McLaren P1 build. It's probably going to be the most crazy supercar, I guess, hypercar rebuild ever, as there haven't really been that many hypercar rebuilds on YouTube ever, so this I think might actually be a first. So I'm so excited for this. And guys, next time you see me, we might be filming from Tokyo. I might produce one more video before we go to Tokyo, but yeah, this could be the last video before Tokyo Auto Salon. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, as always. I really appreciate your support going into this brand new year. Let's crush it this year. Let's bring you guys the best content that we possibly can. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.